Hello, Craig here. I wanted to talk a little bit about and show you how I color correct in Camera Raw in Photoshop. I took this picture of these fasteners. We have some lag bolts, lag screws, nails, and wood screws that I'm going to use in another Photoshop project. So I have to path all of these and drop the background. But what I wanted to show you is how right now they look okay, but they lack some punch and they're not real interesting to look at. The contrast is a little bit dull. Um, so when I photograph these, I purposefully keep them kind of dark so that I have something to adjust with. If you blast something out with too much white, you can't adjust something that's white because there's nothing there to change. But if you do have enough information, even if it's too dark like this, you'd be surprised what the camera picks up in these mid-tones and even in the darker tones that you can reveal after you take a photograph. So the first thing I want to do is I want to use a non-destructive method to apply the Camera Raw filter. So I'm going to control click on my layer and I'm going to convert this to a smart object. That'll put a little icon in the corner. That basically means that when I apply the filter to this, it will be an adjustment layer. So I'm going to go up to Filter, Camera Raw Filter. You can see it opens our dialog box here to kind of show us or a separate palette, correction palette, and gives us all of the controls available in Camera Raw. So what I usually will do, let me zoom in just a little bit here. What I will usually do is I always start by just looking at the shadows here. And I will just move the shadows over, and you see this is where it reveals all of that hidden information. Look at all the detail in here that it's revealing in this nail. More of these marks in here and more of the screw threads. So I move this over, I'll start with 80 over here and see how that goes. Next I'll want to change my blacks. So I did take some of the shadows out here. I want to put that back in because it looks a little bit flat or two-dimensional. And I want the screws and the nail here to still look three-dimensional. So I'm going to back up the black, take some of the black back, probably back to 40. If you watch my videos, you know I'm kind of a stickler for sticking to 5s and 10s. Here, it just seems to work better for me. Now I'm going to bump my highlights up just a little bit. Brighten those. Let's maybe try about 30 here. Remember that there's no magic to Photoshop. If you were to click auto, which maybe I should have done, it doesn't do any better job than we can do. So you might as well use your eye to do it. The whites here, I'm going to bump this up just a little bit too. I'll try 30 on this one. And then the contrast, I want to increase the contrast as well. And that will put some of the blacks back in. This is where you can really stylize things if you want. That looks a little bit too much, but we'll try 30 here as well. So I have increased contrast by 30, highlights by 30, shadows increased by 80, the whites increased by 30, and then drop the blacks. The last thing I want to do is I like this clarity slider here. It tends to give it a little more punch, and you can see how it really adds a lot. You can stylize it. I'll just go with a kind of a minimal 20. Now, to compare this before and after, click down here on this little Y, and you can see the before and after. And look at what a nice job this has done. Especially looking at like this one. This is a stainless steel wood screw. It just has so much more dimensional quality to it. And it looks like it has a little more punch. This nail too, while it's still a little bit dark down here, it's kind of how those nails are. This one, it picked up more clarity in this, even though this is a boring kind of triple-coated deck screw. Not a lot of contrast in here. That's still how it looks, and it looks a lot better than this one. And these last two, excuse me, just these construction screws, wood screws, these look a lot better as well. See a little more depth and dimension in the threads. So now all I have to do is I will click OK. It will process that. And now I can start to path these out. I use the pen tool for that. I think that's the best way, but that's another tutorial. But just a reminder here that this is a non-destructive method. So I have a smart filter applied to my smart object, and if I turn this off, I'm back to the original and I haven't harmed the original photograph. All right, thank you. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. And if you'd like to see more tutorials here, I also have a lot of tutorials over on craigkuntz.com. So go there and check out tutorials on graphic design, woodworking, and web design. Thank you.